Test, test, test. What's going on, ladies, gentlemen? A Tuesday late night live, or whoever wants to come in tonight. I got bored and decided to create a Tuesday night live stream. How about that? Anybody interested? Anybody out there? Hello, hello. Test, test, test. Come on in, guys. Ladies, gentlemen. Are you out there? Is there anybody out there? We'll find out, huh? Aha. Come in, guys. Who's there? Piccolana. Hey, Piccolana. ¿Cómo está? Are you busy? Are you working? Are you at home? Where are you? Saan ka? Are you live streaming? Live streaming? Hello, hello. Layacera. Now, what is that part of your name? Layacera. What is that? Hello, hello. Piccolana? Are you there? Come in, guys. Come in. Anybody? Oh, let me grab my coffee here real quick. Real quick. I'm still here. Okay. What's new? Oh, Piccolana. Hello. Are you there? Hey, let me see if I can get a gadget. Cell phone so I can give those that want a jacket. Okay, got one. Where did you go, Pico? You were there a moment ago and now you're gone. Hello? Hello? Hey, what happened to my account? It's gone. Well, looks like I need another PIN number I don't have. Okay. All right, I got 7 eyeballs. Are you there? Come on in, guys. I'm here. I'm here. Anybody? Let's have a late chat. What do you think? Come in. Don't swipe. Just stop. Come in. Come in. Hello? Hello? Okay, we're back. Except I don't see my my live stream. Where'd it go? Um, hmm. I've done this before, and my video is not be found that I'm broadcasting right now. Come in, guys. I'm in the room. Don't be afraid. What the heck? There we go. Pikolanang. There's your moderator, Pikolanang, wherever you went. Let's see. What is Pikolanang Layasera doing? She's live, although she's using her, what do you call this? Streamcast? Yeah. Okay, come in, guys. We got 8 set of eyeballs in the house, but nobody's coming in the room. Is it blocked or what's going on? It's like I see people. Come in. Gosh, come in. Flood the room. Do something. Come on, give me something to do. Give me someone to talk to. What do you say? Yay? Nay? "13 people. Come on, just one. Come in the house. Come on in. Is my audio blocked? Let me see. Test. Nope, doesn't look like it. Looks like it's working. Come on in. Aha, Snia. There. Sis Rose. Kumusta? Magandang hapon. How are you, dear? Ethnicity? What, my heritage is from Scotland and England? Scotland on my dad's side, English on my mom's side? How about you, Knack? Sis Rose, I think I saw you just, what, last night? Something like that? Where did I see you, Rose? Was that in Joe Mike Love live stream? Clean it up, knock, if you would. I'd appreciate it. Would you, please? What do you say? That's a friendly request. Why don't you have a a decent conversation. How about that? Especially if you're younger than I am, right? A little bit of respect there for your elders. Yeah, you don't have to be a keyboard warrior, right? Facebook fanatic. Yeah, so, yeah, a little bit of respect, right? Like I said, you're talking to your elders. Yeah, well, it's so cold there. Where are you, sis? Are you in Hong Kong or Japan? If you're in the Philippines, that's not true. Yeah, you're 56 and you're talking like that? Come on, really? Or as they say in the Philippines, talaga. See, that's why I'm questioning your 56 age. With these comments? Seriously. Really, life's been that rough for you? You're pissed off at the world or what? Jews and Scots and slurs? Where are you from? Knock knock. Daisy, Texas. Yeah. Will you be able to talk to me? Of course, Daisy. Daisy, you're you were here before, weren't you? Hispanic girl in Texas? Or wait. Are you mixed? Or am I confusing you with somebody? What happened, knock knock? Where'd you go? Sneha. Where are you, bro? Daisy, whereabouts in Texas? What part of Texas? And what do you do? Are you in school? Are you professional? What field are you pursuing or currently in? Come on in, guys. I see 14 people. Yeah, didn't I meet you before? A couple nights ago? Or is this your first time in the live stream? Uh-oh, looks like Knock Knock disappeared. Dazed is. Sorry. And what are you referring to there, bro? Wait, you say you don't do drugs. Wait, who said anything about drugs? Is that what based is? Or are you talking about blazed? No, Native American is referring to Native American. Michael, what's up, Mike? Where do you post that claim, or where do you get that information from, Mike? No, I disagree. Yeah. I've got information that refutes that, so. Yep. Yeah, I disagree with that. I've actually got a video that you can watch and learn a little bit about that. Daisy. Yeah, the name of it is let me grab it real quick. It's Meet Your Ancestors by Dr. Robert Carter. Give me a second here. Yeah, it's incorrect, Thomas. Matter of fact, I just, speaking of Dr. Carter, I just received his latest book, and he's a geneticist, biologist that gives a great seminar on that subject. And I've bookmarked it for that very reason. Yeah, look that up on YouTube. Yeah, state your sources. I mean, that would help. So we could all take a look at it. What's up, Miss Daisy? Why are you up so late, like me? What goes both ways, I guess? I just did. I just stated my source. That's one of the sources. Just one of. Matter of fact, the book is the most recent book I'm referring to is Dr. Robert Carter. Here he's is that video that I just posted. It's just his most latest book, just to show some of his work. He can show you through DNA and genetics where peoples originated from. Is that a word, orientated? Talking about originated or orientated, which I don't believe is a word, but I might be mistaken. How about all peoples, period, from the beginning, are from the Middle East, or the eastern side of the Middle East, next to Africa, but not Africa. And boy, that was a autocorrect. Adam and Evil. Yeah, read that. Watch that video. I bookmarked it for a reason. Yeah, by Dr. Robert Carter. Meet Your Ancestors, Adam and Eve, by Dr. Robert Carter. Oh, you know what? I can actually do it right here, since I got my phone, a phone, I should say. Is that music a little bit loud still? Sorry about that. There we go. Yeah, it looks like some of those that came in got cold feet and left the house. Not sure where they went. Oh, come on. Don't blame it on your... Don't shift the blame there, Mike. Come on. Orientated is a word that you're not the first person to use that. And it doesn't sound like a typing too fast or autocorrect problem. That's too many letters to be anything close to originated, at least on a keyboard. It wouldn't have been an autocorrect mistake because it wouldn't have corrected it to that word, which isn't even a word, I believe. But you're not the first person to use that word. I've heard others refer to orientated. Who was it? Who was it? Just recently, I heard orientated. I forget, but it was just recently. Oh, awesome. If we could, we would. Yes, correct. It's called Pangea. Yeah. Yeah, watch that video. I was actually going to bring it up for you. Hold on a second. And it looks like I'm a little bit pixelated, not pixelated, but lagging a little bit there with my internet speed. What am I looking for? Let's see if this will pop up here. There we go. Perfect. I'll share it with you guys here. Okay. What it means to be on time and knowledgeable on anything that you would like to do, but it never gets done. What does? Orientated means that? Anyways, there's the link, guys. I don't think you'll be able to click on it, but you can, if you can copy and paste that. That's the link to the Meet Your Ancestors. Again, even if you can't click on it, it's Meet Your Ancestors. Adam and Eve by Dr. Robert Corder. You'll learn something, guarantee you. Yeah, do it, Thomas. It's again, I bookmarked it long ago, and I still watch it. I just watched it. I'm gonna say 2 days ago. I was looking for some information to quote, and I was watching it for that purpose. Oh no, Mike, where'd we come from there, bro? What's your theory? And state your sources. So where'd we come from there, bro? What's your thought on that pool of water? I can read you something that's pretty nips it in the bud real quick. To refute your answer. I'm anticipating your answer, that is. right? Because there's really only, what, two theories out there, either a creation worldview or a evolutionary worldview, right? Yeah, and yeah, back up your claim. Why is it BS? Talk to me instead of being a keyboard warrior. And why is it when people, when very often when people talk about creation or evolution, whenever there's a debate, the evolutionary side of the house always uses profanity to, start out their disagreement or their refute. They always got to refer to profanity. It's like, does that make the claim more impressive when you use profanity? Bria, are you live streaming, Bria? Let me read something to you there, Mike. That's just read it here a couple days ago. Started reading, the beginning to read the his latest book, Dr. Robert Carter's book on biology. He says, here's the problem, or just one of the problems. Most chemical reactions are reversible, and they usually have a preferred direction. All right? In this case, water will break these bonds. Let me back up to explain what I'm referring to here. He's talking about long chain molecules that consist of sugars or polysaccharides, amino acids or proteins, and nucleotides or DNA and RNA. Okay, some of, for example, chromosome number 1 is literally a long chain molecule. It's about 1 foot in length. All right, so keep listening there, Mr. Mike. Yet these long chains of simpler chemicals are easy to break down. To form them, the body removes an OH from one end of one chemical and an H, or hydrogen. OH is oxygen and hydrogen. Duh. From one end of another, and then joins the molecules together. In other words, every bond between sugars, amino acids, and nucleotides in the molecules that make up living things was made by creating a water molecule, H2O. This is why this reaction is called condensation. Okay? But I'm still waiting for your response on your BS statement about Adam and Eve and why it's BS there, Mike. All right? It's impossible, Mike, to be 1 million years old. Absolutely impossible. I can back that up too, if you want to talk about it. Okay? But here's the problem. Most chemical reactions are reversible, and they usually have a preferred direction. In this case, water will break these bonds much faster than they will ever form in nature. If you took a beaker full of sugar water and let it sit for 1 million years, speaking of millions of years, all right, listen up. If you took a beaker full of sugar water and let it sit for 1 million years, you would not find any long chain polysaccharides in that beaker. Yet, if you took long chain polysaccharides and put them in a beaker of water, they would slowly break down into simple sugars. So, despite evolutionists' appeal to eons of time, i.e., millions of years, for their magic to work, vast ages are their enemy. Okay? The only way to create long chain biological molecules in the chemistry lab is to first remove all traces of water from the reaction vessel. Darwin's, quote, warm little pond, unquote, idea is the absolute worst place for life to form. Age is the enemy. And that just happens to coincide with, in the beginning, God created. Time is our enemy now that Adam and Eve made that mistake. When they made that mistake, time became their enemy. It's called the second law or first law of thermodynamics, entropy, or first and second law. Time is the enemy. They were given the death sentence after sin was committed. You see, why are we dying? For the wages of sin is death. Sin is why we're dying. Time began after sin was committed, hence why we're dying. It all agrees with, in the beginning God created. And then you look at it from a scientific viewpoint, from a biological explanation of that, and I just read to you why time, just one reason why time is our enemy. Because you can't form long chain molecules in water. And that's apparently, one of the theories of evolution, that we all came from a pond of water. Hence why they're looking for water on Mars. Well, then you have to agree with the Big Bang Theory to make statements that Adam and Eve, you don't believe in that BS. So what do you believe if you don't believe in the beginning God created? What's your other alternative? Correct. Approximately 6,000 years. Right. No. Mike, let's back up a little bit. Hold on a second. That isn't what you're misinterpreting or misunderstanding sin. Okay? Let me clarify that and simplify it. Okay? Have you ever committed something wrong? I mean, this is a silly question. We all have. So you can't blame it. You can't shift the blame on somebody else. You have a choice, right? To either do right or do wrong. And, as a matter of fact, how do you even know what right and wrong is? Where did that come from? So, you can't shift the blame on somebody that did something in the past for why you're doing what you're doing. You still have a choice, right? But the bottom line is, even I can't keep that from happening. I try, but no matter how hard I try, I inevitably will do something wrong. Okay? No, you're not paying. You're paying something because of what you did. That's like telling the judge, if it wasn't for my socioeconomical background, I wouldn't have done this. If it wasn't for the color of my skin, I wouldn't have been racially, that's not an excuse. You accept the blame, bro. And God, your creator, he'll remove the guilt. Instead of accepting the guilt, we tend to say things like, why should I pay for something that somebody else did? Eve did the same thing at the very beginning. God asked her, basically in so many words, why'd you do that? And she said, the devil made me do it. And then he asked Adam, why did you do it? He said, because Eve made me do it. Shifting the blame has been from the beginning. Yeah, religion, this sin is a religious buzzword? No, no, that's the truth. The truth isn't a religion. A religion is man trying to do the work to do right, to get to God. That's a religion. And there's too many religions out there. There's too many isms out there. Catholicism, Buddhism, Muslimism, Islamism. I'm making up that word. Hindu, Sikhism, Mormonism. The truth is the truth. There's only one truth as to how you and I got here. That's not a religion. No, no, no. That's creation. That's the truth. Right? Just Ray. Hey, you just came in. Good to see you. Dab. Capital G God, right? Dab? Unless you're referring to all the other little g gods. Also, humans made all this up? He made you up? Humans made you up, Mike? He made all this up? What is all? That includes us, right? Includes man and woman? Did you notice there's only two? Yeah, man and woman. Pun intended. You know, Mike, I've taken the opportunity to study this exact subject for 17 years, right? So who made up humans that made up these ideologies, right? Let's go a little further. Who made up the ideology of creating a human? Where did the human come from? Right? We gotta give credit to where credit is due, or we have to blame where blame is due. Right? If humans made up ideologies, who made up humans? Right? We gotta get to the source here. Amen, Just Ray. No, too many little g gods, bro. Little g. I'm just helping you because I didn't know any difference before either. There's only one capital G God. That's the truth, right? That's the, right? Unless you don't believe in that at all. And if you don't, then change it to little g. Because God, right, we all know is a proper noun and he gets a capital G. But if there's no such thing, then everything's a small g, right? Oh, I don't doubt that Hinduism is the oldest religion. I have no idea, but as far as religion, sure. NCIS series. I have no idea who you're referring to, so I don't watch it. So anyhow, the last 17 years been reading other scientists' journals and books and information, and I've come to an overwhelmingly convincing conclusion that the model that in the beginning God created, the model that history book paints or puts together is overwhelmingly convincing, the most overwhelmingly convincing model to explain everything. Period. And it's based on evidence. You know, otherwise you can come up with all kinds of ideologies and statements and i.e. religions, right? I know how. I know how we got here, Mike. And that, like some guy told me years ago, well, that's awfully arrogant of you to say that. And I'm like, why is that arrogant? I'm just telling him, what I know based on evidence to be the truth. And his comment was, that's arrogant of you to say that. And I said, wait, that doesn't make any sense. what's arrogant of me sharing with you sources as to how I came to my conclusion? But see, it's like, most people respond that way because it offends them, or I don't know. More than likely, it puts a mirror in front of them. I'm using the book as a mirror. It puts a mirror in front of them, and it makes them see themselves. And most people don't like that. And I'm speaking for myself. There's only one God, Alan. There's only one capital G God. There's only one way we all got here, that everything got here. Right? There's only one truth. Therefore, there's only one truth. There's only one way. There's only one life that truth, that way created. Oh, that's Casey, all due respect, but to me, that's just a distraction. Yeah. Because I already know the truth. Overwhelmingly convinced based on the evidence. So everything else, if it's not the truth, it's a what? It's a lie. As harsh as that sounds. That's what I lean on. Everything else is a distraction. I don't need to read, recommendations on anything other than what I know to be the truth. Yeah. Ray, you're in Texas, right? There's somebody else above came in from Texas as well. Right? Just Ray? Casey, whereabouts are you in this world? Yeah, okay. That's what I was confusing you with the I don't know if it was a lady or a girl that came in earlier. And I was asking her the same thing. I said, "Are you the one from Texas?" And she might have been misunderstanding me, but I think she said yes. And I'm thinking, "Oh, then that is you." It's like, "Wait a minute. No. No, Daisy Quesada." Yeah, I thought was you. And now that I see your name, I was like, wait a minute, you're from Texas or in Texas. Yeah. Alan, what's going on there, young man? Yeah, what source are you getting that statement from? Or is that just a stinking thinking keyboard comment? State your sources, guys. Right? Instead of being a keyboard warrior. Oh, you got a capital G there. That's That's a oxymoron there. There's only one G. There's only one capital G God that gets that title, that name, right? It's a proper noun. God, capital G. So there's only one with that name. The rest of them have little G gods, and there's many little G gods. All right. Yeah, I've got overwhelming evidence that the original creation was in the Eastern Middle East. What is that referred to? Is that Asia? Um, I'm questioning my own geography. Uh, Next to Africa. What is that? The what canal? What body of water that separates Africa from? Is that Asia? Justin, what's up, bro? Norse god. Now we're on Norse gods. What's false? Remember, text is very hard to follow what you're referring to. You got to be specific to what you're referring to. Oh, here I've got a source in my hand that I can use here. Let me see here. Good old Google Maps here. Let me, Africa. There we go. That is, that would be what is known today in Saudi Arabia. So yeah, Middle East. Yep. What body of water is that? That's the Red Sea. Yeah, yeah. In that area of the world. There you go. Yeah, ultimately, Thomas, ain't that the truth? Start there. As I've said before, consider in the beginning God created, and then ask the question, if in the beginning God created, what would you expect to find? And then begin your studies in your fields of all the fields of science. And if you do that, conditional, if you do, you will be overwhelmingly convinced that that is the truth. Everything fits. Everything follows. And literally everything does follow. In the beginning, God created. And then go to the next sentence and so on and so forth. And ask your question. Ask yourself, if this is true, what would I expect to find? And then go out and start your studies. Or rely on those scientists that are doing those studies for a living. And that's what I've been doing for 17 years. And it's overwhelmingly convincing that that is the truth. It fits. It makes the most sense. Therefore, I believe in it. Not the other way around. Did you get that? I don't believe in something, and then because of, or I don't, yeah, I'm struggling to put that in context. Anyways, yeah, I believe because of the evidence. Frank, hey, you're in. Um, did somebody say that, Frank? Sorry, you'll have to catch me up on what others have been saying here. Oh, up there. I see. Alan, you're referring to Alan. Oh, hey, Doc. Alan. Oh, okay. I got you now. I just read it. Hello, Doc. Dot dot dot. Alan, and then you addressed Alan. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. 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 Yeah, I posted again or earlier. If you guys want to read. If you guys want to listen to a a great seminar on the origin of us, watch Dr. Robert Carter's uh, video, YouTube video on that very subject. Um, Meet Your Ancestors, Adam and Eve webinar on YouTube. Right? I posted it earlier, and somebody said they'd watch it. This is the link. Not everybody can click on it, but if you can copy and paste it or do a screenshot, that is Meet Your Ancestors. And it'll give you a eye-opening alternative view on our origin. Yeah, I got you, Frank. I finally figured that out. So what's new there, Mr. Frank? Better than I deserve, Frank. Every day. Oh, you got a joke? You have a joke? History starts with the Bible has been the implication. There are older civilizations. That's not true there, bro. Impossible. it's, it's historically impossible. Older civilizations than the Bible? That's a that's like totally refutes the Bible then, right? Just wipes it off the map. Oh, this is your joke. Told Hitler he would die on a Jewish holiday. Hitler demanded, "What Jewish holiday?" The teller stated, "Any day you die will be a Jewish holiday." Any day you die. As the whole crowd goes, right? The crowd goes wild. The concentration camps go wild. Yeah. That's not funny, but sort of. Hey, Frank, speaking of Dr. Robert Carter, Meet Your Ancestors, Adam and Eve, this is his latest issue, his latest book, Biology, Biblical Biology 101. It follows the other book I have, Biblical, what is it? Biblical Geology 101. And Dr. Carter just came out with this 250-page resource. It's so far like incredible. I didn't expect anything less, but it's good stuff. The end of it is even better. I'd had to go to the end and read the epilogue, and it literally put tears in my eyes just to read his ending. It was good stuff. Just Ray, I know I've probably asked you lots of questions before in the past. You're in Texas, and you're You have children? You have a family? Or I have three, as a matter of fact. Yeah, you remember the website creation.com? You can find it there. Um, that's actually where I purchased it from. And the same guy that I went and saw here in South Jersey, he was in the area and did a uh, gave a couple speeches at a couple churches here locally. So I went down and saw him. Same, he's the author of that book. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How long ago was your picture in your profile, Ray? Ah, well, you look young in your picture. Amen on that. Yeah, something. Uh, I was actually talking to my 19-year-old here recently, who was fortunate to be brought up in God's Word, and it's just a totally 180 degree different way of thinking and approaching everything, including marriage and um, how just how to think about, i.e., praying for your Christian family. I had no other concept of marriage or just the way I was brought up. As my brother said, isn't we were in conversation about our life, the way we were brought up, and his comment was, or his question was, isn't the way we were brought up, isn't that life, Gary? I mean, in other words, didn't everybody go through what we went through? And that's what I was trying to tell him. It's like, bro, unbeknownst to us, there was another way of thinking and upbringing, i.e., it is called a creation worldview, as opposed to the worldview that we were brought up in, which was basically a no worldview. Although all the educators that we had throughout our schooling, elementary, junior high, high school, college, were of the evolutionary worldview. So, if you were to say, what worldview were you brought up in? I'd have to say evolutionary worldview. And my brother said, isn't that life? And I was telling him, trying to tell him, no, that's not life for everyone. And that's what I'm referring to is, the worldview that you're being brought up in, and that now I'm exposed to and trying to live. And it just takes on a whole new scenario. It's like even marriages. I've only been to like 2 Christian weddings, like true Christian weddings, where the bride and the groom knew the truth and got married. God, I'm going to say just one. Only one sticks in my mind. But as far as funerals, even the latest funerals I've been to, were resided over by Christians. And the whole funeral goes differently. The word of God is preached at funerals. The message is shared. The good news is shared to those people, in the black outfits, in the audience. It just takes on a whole new light, literally a whole new light, whole new I never seen that. And I've never seen a funeral where the person residing over the memorial service or the funeral is preaching, giving a message to the people, sharing the gospel. And yeah, it's awesome. There she is, all the way from the Philippines. And what is your heritage, Ray? Again, you told me Hispanic, and your dad is, uh, what is he again? Middle East or Indian or I forgot. But I know there's this Latina in you, right? Oh, amen. I just read that. I'll be dang. Well, tell him to get off his butt and give you a ring. Where is he? Let me talk to him. There you go. Yeah, you told me. I remember now. Right. Mexican, black, Spanish. You're a Heinz 57. Gotcha. Oh, he's asleep. Gotcha. Thomas, Native American, Creole, French. Wow, where do you live, Tom? Do you live in Louisiana by any chance? In the South, possibly. That sounds right from Louisiana. New Orleans, no way. Imagine that. Bro, I lived in uh, NOLA and um, actually I part-time while I was trying to find a job. I was in Baton Rouge. That's when I first arrived. And then I found a job in St. Bernard Parish. I used to commute on the ferry um, and then down to St. Bernard Parish. Yep. And I was dating a lady in Harahan. I lived in Algiers, as a matter of fact, and downtown New Orleans. After the fact, I moved from, oh yeah, Homa, India. Yeah, the Indian. Yep. That's where, bro, my roommate, you're describing my roommate. He was a big kid. He's like 22 years old, but he was like 6'3" and he weighed, 280 or something. He was a giant kid. But he was from Homa. Yep, now that you say that. Yeah, he called himself a what do you call that? What do you call the peoples from down there? What was it? I'll think of it. It's uh just a playful, not a playful name, but what was it he said? He's the one that showed me how to eat the blue crabs and take the roe and put it in scrambled eggs in the morning. The crab meat and the roe. That was pretty darn good. Yep. Yeah, oh yeah, crawfish boils, bro. Now you're gonna make me hungry. I got introduced to some pretty unique, culture down there. It's definitely almost like you're in a different country, you know. Yep, red potatoes, crawfish, and what about what about the red potatoes? Wait, was it red potatoes? No, it was uh red hots or white hots and rice in the morning. You could buy it in uh, the styrofoam containers from the local markets or the gas station markets on what is it on Fridays? Friday mornings? Yeah, the beans and rice and the sausage. Red beans and rice. Yeah, red beans, sausage, and rice in the styrofoam containers. I think it's on what Fridays. And the po' boys, scrambled egg with tomato. I mean, what about Ligo, Nini? Ligo, scrambled egg and tomato with garlic and onions, right? That's to die for. Ligo sardines. The red can or the green can? I love it. That's a favorite, Nini, is that dish. That's a anytime dish. Red, you eat red? Yeah, the spicy one. My Asawa does like one can of green and one can of red, or half a can of red. She doesn't like spicy, so wow, yeah. She's in Nini, where are you? What part of the Philippines? You're in Metro Manila, right? How old are you, Thomas? It's like I wonder if you're the same kid that I worked with. I was a paramedic in St. Bernard Parish, and he was an EMT, a basic EMT. Ah, you're 38. Well, let's see. How old would he be now? He would probably be about your age. Let's see. If he was 22, 23 then, that was 15 years ago. So, no, it was before that. 15 years ago would be 2009, 2010. And I was in New Orleans in 1998, 99. 1998. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nini, saan ka nakatira sa Pinas? Is it Nina? Nina or Nini? I keep calling you Nini. That's actually what they call my Asawa, my wife. Her sisters call her Nini. Yeah. Buhai. That's house, Tom. Yep. Do you have any uh, exposure to the Filipino circles, Tomas? Thomas? Sorry, your phone's getting janky. Shows some post, then cuts me out. No problem. Yeah. Ah, you do. You do have some exposure. Do you visit the Filipino live streams also, Tom? That's how I got started in this whole live streaming and YouTube. So how's work, Frank? What's new? Ah, okay. Very cool. Have you been there to the Philippines yet or no? Oh, Mundar and Jeffrey always go live. I don't know that name or their channels. Good old, yeah, there's the American, what we grew up with, right? Corned beef, hash and eggs. Gosh, now you're revealing your age, Frank. Yeah, that stuff's good. Corned beef, hash and eggs. Yeah. I don't know. A lot of people left the room. You don't eat balut, Nina? Any reason for that? Do you just have a curiosity about India, or what's the reason for that choice? Have you ever had it before, Nina? Have you ever had balut? It's not, I don't dislike it. Actually, it tastes like chicken soup, like a strong chicken soup. Tastes like a strong chicken, sabao. But it's if I was hungry, and I was on the street looking for something to eat, I would choose something different than balut. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. If you love Indian food, you'd love to go to Thailand. I was married to a Thai girl for 15 years. Hmm. Oh, so you tried it and now you don't like it, or you would rather not. Now, Nina, I noticed in your live stream, you have a lot of people from, where are they from? What language? You used to work there, right? In the foreign country as a OFW worker? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. Now, navy bean soup, that's pretty darn good. My mom used to make that in the crock pot with the ham hock, actually, I don't know if those are navy beans or not, but those slow cooked beans with the ham hock in the middle. She'd put that on before we went to school, and after school it would be sitting on the counter. I loved it with dumplings, right? The Bisquick dumplings on top. You're making chocolate milk? Oh my gosh. I have some Hershey's in the refrigerator and some milk. Yeah, how old are we, Frank? I'm older than you, or am I? I forgot. You need muscle milk now. Hey, that's in the Wawa, the convenience store. Oh yeah. Do you like split pea, Frank? I had this mental barrier with that when I was young, when I was little, and now it's to die for. I love it. I love split pea. Coast Guard bean soup is so much better. That makes me hungry. That sounds really good right now. Aw, how cool. Hoorah. So he was in the army, correct? No, Master Sergeant. The Marines. First Sergeant, Master Sergeant. Same rank. One's in the office and one's in the field. So they say. One works for a living and the other one grunts for a living. Amen. Hoorah. Yeah, Master Sergeant, Marine Corps. That's with the 3 chevrons below and the 3 chevrons above. Staff Sergeant, Gunny Sergeant, Master Sergeant, or First Sergeant. Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm just about 8 years older than you, Frank. Well, you almost got my spelling correct. No, I have no idea what that is. All I know is the Old Testament and the New Testament scriptures. The truth, the way, the truth, the life. No man cometh unto the Father except through Christ. There you go, Ray. That's the original. That's actually what they call any mix there in Scotland or Ireland is Mac. My dad went by Mac when he was over in Vietnam. I remember seeing a picture of his desk, and he had one of those name bars, that you put on your desk, and it said Mac. Casey, where are you? What part of the world? Oh, I'll be dang. Cool. Awesome. Maybe I had actually, I don't think he was a master sergeant, but yeah, we had some instructors training us how to shoot. Yep, yep, yep. Ah, you're in Canada. What part? Let me guess. Ottawa or Toronto. Those are my 2 guesses. Or are you over on the west side there in Alberta, Edmonton? Ontario. Yep. Well, I'm how far? 8 hours from you? I'm down in New Jersey, USA. 2 hours south of New York City. Yeah, I think so, Frank. Mac, son of. Yeah. And the last 3 letters, MAC, capital KAY, MacKay, but it was changed to MacKay in different spellings: MCKAY, MCCAY, MACKAY. et cetera, et cetera. But through the internet, as far as I could find, my name came from MacKay, M-A-C-K-A-Y. So that's why I chose to use that spelling. What is the red-green show? Now you're speaking over my head now. Guess what China means in Hebrew? Woo, this might be good. What is it, Tom? Land of sin. Wow. Imagine that. Speaking of, meanings, original meanings of different words, I was just watching another video that I've saved. It's I forget his name. He debunks the Quran, and it's a really cool, um, quickly, a quick presentation, but really good. And he covers a lot in a little bit of time, a relatively small amount of time. And he talks about the word sin is actually an abbreviation for what is it again? It's referring to the Quran, a section in the Quran, and it spells out sin. And he said, "Imagine that." So, what is it again? Let me look up my history here that I just watched and see if I can find it. Home history here. It's like I'm not proficient on a phone with navigating here. How do I find my history here? Downloads. History. Here we go. It's Investigating Islam with Dr. J. Smith. And let's see if I can get to that. Just scroll back here on his. And SIN refers to, the something narrative. Let me look. Keep going here. Sin. There we go. Wait. Brother Jacob on 1611. Early Chinese language has a flood story. Wow. I'm glad to see you've watched Answers in Genesis. Yeah. That series is pretty cool to follow as well. Yes. Give me 1 second. Got my son here asking for his phone here. It's the... Oh, there it is. Just, gosh darn it. Here we go. It's the sources for the Islamic traditions also known as sin, S-I-N. Oh, here we go. Anyhow, I'm sorry. Yeah, a quick overview. Standard Islamic narrative, i.e. sin. Imagine that. Standard Islamic narrative, S-I-N. Yeah, anyways, I don't know what that was worth, but it's like I had to find it. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. I got to go to the CR, i.e. the bathroom. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. All right. Make sure this thing's still in focus, sort of. And you know what? The light changed. Alexa, turn on the kitchen 100%. I think that was my light dilemma. Let's see. Oh, he turned it off manually. Now I gotta turn it on manually. Imagine that, right? Actually get up and turn on something. Okay, I'm back. I'm coming back, that is. Alrighty, try again. Okay, Alan, you're back. Nina, what country did you work in? Was it Turkey? Nina? What language do you speak? You speak a little bit of Turkish or? Oh, what happened? Oh, my my camera kind of freaked out there for a second. Thomas, Frank, Alpha, Alan, Chamberlain, XOFWTV, Nina. Who else? Jay. Whoa, bro, where'd you come from? I'm sorry. I just now scrolled back and found you. I know, I was bored and I thought, what else could I do? I couldn't find anybody live streaming that I could go up on stage with. So I thought, well, I could go live and be on stage by myself. Sorry, I didn't see you. What's up, Mr. J? JR? Alan, thanks for coming there, bro. So what's new, ladies, gentlemen? What has happened in your lives here the last week or so? Anything interesting? Anybody going on a world vacation or? Nothing really happening on my end. We're just kind of hunkering down for the winter and everybody's staying indoors. At least even the traffic outside, it reflects that it's cold out. What city? Are you in California, Alan? You must be, if you're talking about those fires. San Diego boy here myself, but I'm not in San Diego anymore. That's where I was born and raised and went to school and grew up, and then started my my life as a husband and father. Hoorah, Tom. Did it go well? Are you going to get the job or? And what position did you interview for? Did you see that video by any chance? Oh, I see. Sorry. I followed your comment now. You got a job interview this Friday. Gotcha. But at a local market in town or at a business of some sort? Yeah, I was watching a video, Frank, of YouTube video of a guy chasing down like three cars with guys in it, and he was going up a mountain grade. I'm going to say it's California. I didn't see the details of the video, read any of the description, but this guy must have been some kind of a sports car or souped up uh, car, and he was chasing down these kids up the mountain grade. Did you see that? And as he's got a GoPro running or a action cam, and he's verbally reading out the license plate numbers as he approaches them. And then once he reads that plate, then he goes around him on the mountain road and he goes up to the next guy and he reads the next plate. And then he goes up to the third guy up front. And these guys are boogieing up the mountain, but this guy is even quicker and he's passing them on the mountain road. And he gets up to the third guy and reads out the next plate. And then eventually he gets in front of all of them and he stops them. He's able to broadside his car on the mountain road, and these guys stop in their vehicles, and he gets out and just gives them the third degree. He watched them set the fires on the mountain, and he's just freaking out on them, saying, you guys need to turn around right now and get on your phone, call 911, and let the authorities know what you guys just did. And I have to go back and watch the whole thing. Oh, at Walmart, Tom. Sorry, I'm going back. Is that what it turned out to be? Right, if that's true. I'm hearing all kinds of stories, or a few stories about the fire. They actually caught firefighters, setting the fires, and now I'm reading a little more from you saying they were dressed as firemen to access areas. I gotcha. Yeah, I'll have to keep an open ear to that. Yeah. I just watched another video where the name of, and obviously it was clickbait per se, and the title of it was, and this was actually, I commented on it, and it was unfortunate they titled it this, and it's the United States military members obtained for what was the crime? For some crime. And I thought, what? So I clicked on it, and it turned out to be people dressed up as United States military members, doing wrong. And they weren't. They weren't military members. But that type of title, you know, it's on the World Wide Web, and you know how scuttlebutt is infectious. Once that starts going rampant, then people are now spreading the rumor that United States military members are performing crimes, whereas it wasn't that after all. It was people dressed up as. Yeah. Jemilyn, ¿cómo está? Mustaka. Thanks for coming, Rose. Again. And a homeless guy setting fires. Great. Well, being from California, and I know the the topography and the lay of the land per se, and the foliage and the brush, that we grew up and that is prevalent in California. And, it's a matchstick. That whole, part of the world is a very uh, dry. Um, the the bushes out in the fields are very hardy and thick. Manzanita, for example, we call it chaparral, and it's just matchstick material. I used to ride my motocross bikes growing up as a kid in it and create trails and catch alligator lizards and bluebellies and all of the above. Rattlesnakes, at least my brother used to catch those. And it's a walking time bomb. If you choose to live out in those hills, in that environment, it's like I always say when I'm choosing a piece of property is I want to know the demographics as far as the weather. What does it flood here? I asked when I bought this property, what is the likelihood of being flooded out here? And I asked the neighbors and I asked some of the locals, at my church, and I got some good advice and said, no, you're safe here. And so, if I were to be building a multi-million-dollar home in the hills of Hollywood, it's like if you build a house in a floodplain, what do you expect? Oh, well, it hasn't happened in 100 years. Well, you're still building in a floodplain. So, take that in consideration and then don't blame, really anybody but yourself for choosing to build there or to buy there. So, oh my gosh. Laguna Canyon fire in the 90s, it burned the ocean. It burned to the ocean. Yeah, it was arson. Yeah. Well, on that note of clearing out, so that the fire doesn't burn, that's actually what fires are for. You know, it does just that. Unfortunately, whether it's done by arson and or, natural ways, but that's if you talk to what is it, a geologist or a no, my friend was a park ranger. What field is that? As far as growth, is that part of geology? No, that's anyways. Uh, I'm not an expert on it, but I remember my friend. He's a park ranger there in California. I think he's retired now, and he used to tell me, the benefits of wildfires and what it does, and how it helps, nature. Unfortunately, people build, in these secluded areas, and yeah, again, you face the consequences if you choose to build out there. Yeah, did you hear just yesterday they were talking about the fires being under control, but then all of a sudden that evening they were having 50-mile-an-hour gusts up to 65-mile-an-hour gusts. And I thought, imagine that. Yeah, Santa Ana winds. Oh my gosh. Yeah, as being in the rock climbing community for over 30 years myself, there's always talk. Those that were in the field, in those um, areas of expertise, you always heard about that through, fellow climbers talking about um, the, the ecology. I guess that's the word I was looking for, and how it works and the benefits and the so ons. Jay, you're still here. Awesome. Hey, Frank, Jay, young man from New Zealand, Auckland. He recently joined us. Super blessed to have him show up and participate and be interested in asking awesome questions, all the above. So crazy. Whereabouts? Where are you, Alan? I'm sorry. You're in California. You already told me, right? In the LA area or? Yeah. Okay, you are. I got you. Got you. Got you. I think that's what you said, right, Alan? I'm scrolling back, going, wait, wait, wait. He already said it, or did you allude to that? Yeah. Anyways, awesome. Yeah, I was. I remember seeing Mel Gibson talking, but I didn't listen to him. I just saw his face and saw the that his house got burned down. Wow. Yep. Yep. Listen. Well, you learned a lot just from listening to the Word of God. That's all I'm trying to share. And I've actually shared a little bit about my personal life and the ups and downs. That was saw a few of my tears, right? Gotcha, gotcha. Greater LA. Yeah, yeah. We have family. I got my wife's has a cousin in the La Alhambra, yeah, area. What, an hour from the airport, I think. Yep. Ray, you're gonna go to bed? All right, young lady. Thank you, dear, for finding me again and coming back. Don't forget the like, everyone, if you haven't already. That's the least I can ask. Yep. Yeah. That's for sure. In New Zealand, I wonder. You're welcome, Ray. God is good. That's for sure. Jams. Hey, bro. I think you're a young man. Oh, I remember your profile picture. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like a some kind of a demonic war dress of some sort. Something. I can zoom in on this 60-inch TV, make everybody real big using. Uh-oh. Oops. Oops. Sorry about that. I hit the back button on the Xbox controller. Yeah, it'll kick me out real quick. Jay, apparently we have a lot of people hiding out here. There's a Russian billionaire that owns a property almost as big as the town. He does firework displays that he watches. Oh, hey Jams, what? Uh, thanks for coming back. Don't forget to like, right? The Filipinos call it the tamsak. Tamsak. That's sounds like to me like thumb suck. And if you look at that like button, that's what the that's what it's doing. It's a thumb suck. But the word, the Filipino word is the Tagalog word is tamsak. Tamsak. It's got to be because they're real big on like being copycats is um and they'll literally repeat what they hear. Um and then like phonetically spell what they hear. And it sounds like I might be wrong. I'm sure I am. Tamsak is thumb suck. And when you look at that like icon, it's exactly what it looks like. It looks like a thumb suck. What do you do for a living, Alan? Or you're interested in, or etc. 9-1 lanterns. 91 lanterns. Is that part of a song? Say what? MK11 getting wild. I lost against someone online that modded Jack Briggs into the fruit cocktail guy from Half Baked. What? Sorry, didn't follow you there. Anybody? What brings you, or where are you coming from there, 91? What part of the world? The best boy grip? I know. You see that in the credits? Bro, Alan, you want a part-time job? You want to help me out? You want to be my camera guy? Or maybe I can hire you part-time as an editor and you can give me suggestions on how to improve my videos and content. It would just be a, you know, what's the word? Per diem. That's the truth. What do you mean there's no work here for it? Rev, J, JR? It's online now. There's a company that I purchased through. Actually, I purchased my trolling motor spot lock um, motor, and they hire from the Philippines an editor in the Philippines to do their work for their company. And I thought, I've already heard about that. Actually, I had a family member give it a try. Unfortunately, wasn't what I was looking for, but you can just farm out your editing skills online, and be hired, such as I'm asking Mr. Chamberlain there. Yeah, I'm not sure how to promote that. I'm not a privy to the ins and outs of marketing, via the internet, but technically, yes, I'm done with working. Did I prepare for my retirement? No, I didn't. And so I'm reliant on my spouse as well. So unfortunately, I did not. So if I was on my own, I would be forced to move somewhere out of the country, i.e. the Philippines. And I believe I would be able to survive there. That's why even we were talking about this, in America, the land of opportunity and the model, for the world. And yet many of us retire really in poverty. Well, not so much poverty, but not enough to pay the bills, on Social Security, if that's what you're relying on. And a lot of people are, and that they move out of the country so they can survive. Now, that isn't how it is for everyone, but for many, they move to Mexico, or they move to the Philippines, or they move to Thailand, or they move, out of the country because their paycheck isn't enough, to support what, they used to afford, or anything close to what they used to afford. And that's the boat I would be in if it wasn't for my spouse. Yeah. Do you own a home? If you do, then you are prepared for retirement. What do you mean by that? Can do? Correct, Jay. There's a few ages that you can retire at: 62, 65, 67, and anything thereafter. The longer you wait, the more you get. But you got to make the decision. Do you want to wait that long and work longer, or do you want to work, less and get paid sooner? And I chose the latter. I'm collecting my Social Security. I chose to collect it at 62 because I looked at the difference between how much I'm going to make if I did wait to 65 and 67, and there's like a $500 a year difference. And I thought, really? That less? Because I stopped working back in 2008, so I don't have, 20 more years of working had I kept working until I'm my age now. And so therefore, I'm not getting enough to survive on. So the difference between 62 and 65 and 67 it was laughable. I thought, no way. Why would I wait till I'm 67 to make $1,000 more a year? Wait 5 more years just to make $1,000 per year? No, I'll just collect it now. So that's what I'm doing. And what do you mean owning a home, you're ready to retire? I don't quite get that. You can rent it out and live out of the country? Could do that. But again, I've got to pay for upkeep. Owning a home, being a landlord for a property isn't just renting it out, and expecting the renters to take care of your house for you. How am I going to take care of the house if I'm out of the country? I've got to hire somebody to do that. And, that takes cash. Sometimes a lot of money. As far as selling the house, depends on how much I owe on the house, right? And how much I get for it. So I might be backwards as far as that goes. I might owe more than it's worth, which isn't the case now, but um, that would be what we would do. I would sell the house and then use the profit, but that wouldn't last very long. Maybe, maybe it'd last a lot longer if I'm out of the country. Yeah, squatting. There you go. No, what do you mean you can't rent it out if you don't own it? Yeah, you can. They end up paying your mortgage. Sure you can. Yeah, easier said than done. Then you got to pay a maintenance company to keep up your yard, keep up the structure, pay for the things that go wrong in homes, electricity, plumbing, et cetera, et cetera. That's a good thought, though. I forgot about that. Instead of selling it, we could keep it and then rent it out. I'd have to crunch some numbers and see, if it would be doable. I don't know if I'd want to do that. To see your home that you live in, although you just make a decision to give it up, all of a sudden take a dump because of the renters, not taking care of it like you did, and it turns into a home that is deteriorating all the time because of the renters, and you're constantly trying to keep it up because of their neglect. And yeah, that wouldn't, I don't know. Not sure. You talking to me, Alan? I'm not. I'm trying to follow everybody. Not sure what you mean. The various departments and positions are about delegation. Oh, you're talking with Frank still. Gotcha, gotcha. I think you are. Yeah, no problem, Alan. That's my own. That's what I get for being a hosting my own live stream. I have to try to follow. Uh, or instead of renting it out, turning it into an Airbnb. I've actually utilized Airbnb frequently when I'm out of town, and yeah, I had some great experiences in Airbnbs, either in the country or out of the country, and or out of the country, and that might be an idea. Yeah, I guess I'm thinking about it now. Thanks for bringing it up. Um, condo, can do. I mean, about renting and or turning it into an Airbnb. That way, if I got a hold of a management company or a person, somebody that I could work with that was, what's the word? Was uh, diligent about keeping up the property for me, or at least managing it. And, I could, video chat with, if I'm out of the country, for example, and they could show me, what the property looks like and how it's doing. And without having to come back into the country and, and look at it myself. Yeah, thank you. I'm looking for words there. That too. Even for example, we have her family lives in the area, uh, brothers and sisters. Somebody like that, that would be, as a matter of fact, my brother-in-law. Now I'm thinking of my wife's brother, Jun. He's got a head for that, and that would be a type of person that I would feel comfortable with, putting the property in his hands and have him, if he's in the area, keep an eye out on it and make sure, that it's the tenants are, not tearing it apart or keeping up with that. And then, yeah, we could have somebody else pay our mortgage while we're, out of the country. Speaking of the ins and outs there of, like movie sets, in the rock climbing circles when I was involved, that came up. A lot of climbers were riggers, or, for example, rock and roll groups, or music, the music industry. And because of their, skill set in high rigging and all of the above that entails. Yep. All right, Mr. Frank, bro, always good to see you. All right. Later, shipmate. As you were. Roadies? The crews that travel with bands? No, no, no. The high riggers, that do the stage, that erect the lights above, and or whatever, stage sets, um, everything that goes with, doing things up off the ground. Yeah, don't salute a chief. Okay. Uh, Roger that, chief. Yeah, my ex-wife and her new family are in Mississippi. My kids' mom. I used to take the what was that? The causeway, the Lake Pontchartrain causeway from Louisiana into Mississippi a few times. Just curiosity, like, what's this road? What's this bridge slash causeway? How long is it? Like 20 miles or something? How long is that causeway from Louisiana? I think it's called the Lake Pontchartrain. It goes from Lake Pontchartrain into Mississippi. My short stint in Louisiana that I spent back in 98, 99. Oh, what a chapter that was. Crazy. I'm getting visual memories of it all of a sudden. Like, what in the world was I doing? It wasn't a very gentle part of my gentle chapter of my life. Pretty stressful. How many people? We apparently I got 5 people viewing the channel. Come on in if you haven't already. What do they say? You know, enlisted, they work for a living. So we don't salute those that work for a living. Only those that don't. Who else is still in the house? Alan, are you going to hang out for a bit or? How about Nina? Any of the Filipinos still in the background there? Thomas? How about you? Where'd you go? And Jay, can do. You know, on this note here, yeah, don't go by what you hear and what you see or what you read. You know, if it wasn't for a motor vehicle accident that I about took my life, I wouldn't have been a homeowner and or been in the military. You know, you can still own homes no matter what generation you're in. It's a choice to either, you know, like I had, you know, it's a choice. And I never really made enough money to, without either being in that motor vehicle accident or number two, joining the military. You know, who knows what path, where I would have been, what I've been, the situation I would have been in, whether would have been a renter or a homeowner. I don't know. But I can tell you that if it wasn't for that motor vehicle accident, I wouldn't have owned my first home. And then if I wouldn't have joined the military, I wouldn't have been able to get into this home without any money down. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't have been able to own a home, had I not been in the military. Depends on where you want to live. It also determines whether or not you can afford to be a homeowner. Or your work sometimes determines, whether or not you can be one. Thomas. Oh, Tom, you're still there. You left for like 5 minutes. Filipinos make good donuts, huh? What do you mean, good donuts? What? They make good pandesal. That's the bread, like dinner roll size pieces of bread, pandesal. But I've never really heard about them being good donut makers. Did you read that or something? I'm sure they make donuts over there, but the years I was married in the Philippines, and I'm married to a Filipina, and she's never really like pushed donuts, although their pastries and breads, I guess, are big over there. But I've never really heard that Filipinos make. Oh, they own donut shops? No, they're mostly Indian people. No? In California, who were the donut, like the franchise, the guys, the families that were owning. I'm thinking of one in particular in Spring Valley, California, that I used to visit with my son, take him up there. That was owned by I think it was a Hispanic lady. Was it? Or was she a Filipina? Sharon! Sordo. What state are you in, Thomas? Sorry. Speaking of, now that I think of it, my brother-in-law, my wife's uncle, actually. I guess he wouldn't be my brother-in-law. He's a young uncle. He worked at a donut shop when he first arrived here in America, in New York City. So maybe that had something to do. Oh, that's right, Thomas. You're the expression I was trying to think of earlier, is a coon hand. You've heard that before? He referred to himself, I believe, as a coon hand. Coon, coon hand. Sharon, are you in Sydney, Australia? We have a Auckland, New Zealander, a Kiwi. I think he had to go. JR, J Reverie above, somewhere in the chat above you. Kunas, yeah. Is that it? So I do have the right memory, right? Yeah. Yeah, there was like, I was trying to make it, in Louisiana. I was hoping to work for the New Orleans Health Department, NOHD, as a paramedic, but it was quite the competitive kind of position to obtain. So I ended up putting my resumes out elsewhere and ended up being accepted by a smaller privately owned ambulance company. It's called Priority. I think it was Priority Ambulance. And I worked in St. Bernard Parish. But anyhow, so when I found that job, that enabled me to move from Baton Rouge into New Orleans, and I chose to live. I found a place in Algiers over the Mississippi River Bridge, and lived over there with like two other guys, younger guys. They were also EMTs. As a matter of fact, it was an apartment, I think, that the owner of the ambulance company, I don't know if he owned it or what, but we rented that apartment together. And then I found a place of my own eventually. But when I first moved into New Orleans, I roomed with these two guys. The one kid I told you about, the big kid, the coon hand, the coon arse. Ethan, what's up, bro? Uh, Gosh, I haven't watched a classic film in forever. But if I were to like think about the past, what did I thoroughly enjoy? Classic film? Ooh, uh, I loved the old John Wayne war movies, like Bridge over the River Kwai. Um, oh, you lived in Kenner. That's in Louisiana, didn't it? Near Harahan. Wait, Jeremy. Night of the Living. Oh my gosh, you're revealing your age now, Ethan. How do you know about Night of the Living Dead? I saw that at the Claremont Theater for $1.25, I think. Wait. No, I saw it on TV. That's right. I saw Dawn of the Dead in the theater, I believe. But Night of the Living Dead was, oh my gosh, that's morbid, dude. That's even to this day, that movie scares me. That was one of those, it was like that, those cheap movies that ended up making it big. I don't know if it was cheap or not, but black and white, man, that was gruesome. Did you end up seeing Dawn of the Dead afterwards, where the helicopter ends up slicing off that top of the guy's head? Yeah, Jeremy, confirm with me. Um, oh my gosh, how do you know? How do you know about Night of the Living Dead? Dude, that was when I was a kid. I think I was in Rochester, New York. I must not have been 7 years old yet. Or wait a minute. Google it. When did Night of the Living Dead come out? I'll be able to tell you where I was. Google that for me. How do you know about Night of the Living Dead? Oh my gosh. I thought for sure you were going to say, oh, I'm in my 60s, like I am. 1968, see? I I was, it's like the movie The Birds. Remember the Alfred Hitchcock movie? It's kind of that same era, I believe. 1968, I was in Rochester, New York. If that's when I watched it. It might be when I came back to California in 1970, but I was in Rochester from 66 to 70, thereabouts 70. I turned 8 years old when I was in San Diego in 1970, August of 1970. Oh, Wolfman, the original one. Oh my gosh, Dracula, bro. You know what, Ethan? Dracula, one of the movies, actually, the movie that scared me, did you ever see Blackula with the Black Dracula? OMG. If you haven't seen that and you love classics, you have to see that. Watch it. It might be corny, you know how when you watch movies from the past compared to today's technology, but Blackula gave me nightmares as a teenager growing up in my brother and I shared a room, and I used to have nightmares about Dracula slash, I don't know if it was Blackula that did it, but I would be frozen in my bed in my room with my back to the door of the room. I'd be facing the wall in my bed, laying up on my side, and I was so frozen with this thought that Dracula or Blackula was standing there at the door looking at me with my door open. And I didn't even look, but it's like I could see it in my mind that he was standing there at the door, and I just couldn't turn around. I was frozen, frozen for I don't know how long. It seemed like forever until finally I just got up enough nerve to go and turn around and look at him. And of course, there's nobody there. Oh, Swamp Thing, Cage, you're watching. Ethan, bro, if you haven't seen it, look for it. You could probably YouTube it and at least see the prequel or whatever. Look it up right now. Look up the movie Blackula. Same spelling, but Blackula. Oh, Chainsaw Massacre. You know what? I don't think I ever saw that movie. Really. You know how you have some movies that, were big, but you never saw it? I don't think I ever saw Chainsaw Massacre. I've seen the posters and the clips of it, but I don't think I ever sat and watched the whole thing. That's it, Blackula. I think it's without the K. It's just Blacula. Blackula. Just like Dracula, but with Blackula. Yeah, you got to look it up. It's crazy. I remember, oh my gosh, there's a scene in it. I got to tell you about it. This lady ends up getting bitten and she ends up in the morgue and it's a black lady. She's got a big old fro on her head. And, that was the in thing in the 70s was the fro. And it's coming back. It's so cool to see the fros when I see them today. I always compliment, the kid or whoever's wearing it. Anyways, with the Afro comb, the either the metal or plastic Afro comb stuck in the hair. That was big when I was going through school. So anyways, the lady's bitten. She's in the morgue, and they got the sheet pulled over her and she's on one of those cold metal carts, those morgue carts, whether she's in the hospital or the morgue, whatever. And all of a sudden, like in slow motion, it shows her, that zooms in on her eyes and her eyes all of a sudden pop open. And then she's got blood, dripping down the side of her face, the side of her mouth, down her chin. And of course the camera view is right above. And then she ends up like raising up into a sitting position. Meanwhile, there's people down the hallway just talking. Oh, there's my battery. Let me replace that real quick. You can still hear me, but I gotta change the battery. And then all of a sudden she gets up off the cart and the next scene is her running in slow motion down the hallway. And she's zeroing right in on the two men talking and they don't notice her yet. And she just like a rocket flies down the hallway and ends up, sinking her teeth into one of the doctors or the mortician or whoever it was standing in the hallway. I remember that. That's probably what scared the crap out of me. Okay, my camera should be back here. Oh, wait. Yep, I'm probably going to have to focus this a few times. Hold on. Oh, I got it. I almost got it first try. Okay, as it rocks back and forth. Alrighty, I think I got it. How's my volume's okay? Still good? Let's see, test. Yeah, I got mic. Okay. Yeah, Barnabas Collins, I forget, that's his name, I believe, in the movie. But he's black, he's a black guy. We saw that movie again. Here, get this bit of trivia here. Oh yeah, The Invisible Man, that was a good one. Curse of the Mummy. Oh my gosh. I don't remember seeing The Curse of the Mummy. I'd have to see it again. But I remember The Invisible Man. Yeah. It's been so long though. What was I saying? In 6th grade, I don't know if you had this in your school, but we went to sixth grade camp. It was an opportunity for the sixth graders before they, went into seventh grade. Before we, graduated from sixth grade, we had an opportunity to go to camp after school that summer. And we went into the Cuyamaca Mountains in San Diego, outside of San Diego County, or might be part of San Diego County. And as sixth graders, boys and girls, of course, they had the girls' side of the camp and the boys' side of the camp, and they had the names for the sections of the building that we slept in, and they gave them names like the cub, the mountain lion, and they called them dens. The bear den, the mountain lion den, and the whatever it was. I was part of the mountain lion den, and then the women had their building, and then they had their appropriate, names for the women's dens. And it was a co-ed thing where we were sixth graders, so that when we had activities and things to do, we did them together. But when we broke for the night, we would go back to our den and they would go back to their building. Well, we converged together on movie night, and they actually had a talent contest, which I actually took first place as a drummer. I was playing the conga drums, playing Wipeout on the congas, and they ended up giving me first place. I was totally unexpected. I thought I wasn't even going to compete with some of the talent that I heard. Some people played piano and, others did other things. And they didn't call my name for, fourth place, third place, second place. So I thought, well, I didn't get anything. And all of a sudden they called my name for first place. I was like, what? Why did I get first place? I just was beaten away playing Wipeout, on the conga drum. Well, anyways, movie night, I think it was the same night, lights go down. They up on the wall, they played Blackula. Yeah, I think that might have been the first time I saw it. But it was crazy. You can imagine all kids, all on this floor, all in our pajamas, and we're all watching with our pillows and blankets and sleeping bags, and we're all watching this movie. And they played Blackula, and then they had the counselors, the guys, outside the building, unbeknownst to us, and they all of a sudden start going down the windows like one of the most scariest parts of the movie, and everybody goes wild. Wah! And they had flashlights, and they're flashing it inside the windows, scaring the crap out of us. Oh my gosh. Isn't that weird how you'd start talking about these classic movies or film? And it brought me to a memory when I was in sixth grade. Gosh, what? Sixth grade? You're how old? 11? So that was 1973. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of camps, that same year in sixth grade, I was they had a safety patrol in the school. And the kids actually, it was like a paramilitary, structured organization that boys and girls could be part of. And it was to provide safety for the kids when they cross the intersections. And now here in New Jersey, for example, they hire actual adults or safety patrol, police officers, whatever their peripheral gig is, and they post them with their highly reflective vests on the corners at school crossings, to provide safety for them as they hold up the sign. Well, we did that as sixth graders, and like I said, it was paramilitary, so it was ranked like the structure of the Army: corporal, sergeant, staff sergeant, lieutenant, major, like commissioned, and enlisted and commissioned kind of structure. And then the guy that held the staff, actually at a wood bar about 4 feet long, he was like the staff sergeant, and he's the one that held the kids back at the intersection behind that staff that he held horizontally in front of him. And then they had the other two people held the stop signs, and they were big 8-foot staffs with the is that an octagon stop sign or a hexagon, whatever, however many sides, and the stop sign attached to the top of it. And they had their posts over there on that corner, and then across the street over on that corner for the two opposing, lanes of traffic. And I had a whistle, or the staff sergeant had a whistle, and so you would blow the whistle when the traffic was clear. We had to go through training for this. The local police department was in charge of the safety patrol, so they're the ones that taught us and how to operate those positions. So the staff sergeant would blow the whistle when the traffic was clear and the kids were behind the staff, and then they would lower the signs out, and there was like a parade rest position with your arm extended with the sign on it, out 45-degree angle out into traffic. And then the cars coming would stop, and when they would stop, staff sergeant would move his staff horizontal into a vertical position, and the kids would cross the crosswalk. And then when everything was clear, he would blow the whistle again or blow it twice, and the signs would come up, and then that staff was down into a horizontal position again. And we had to go through drills. We had to know our facings and how to march. It was my first opportunity to be part of that, to learn military etiquette. Well, we also went to camp during 6th grade, and they had a safety patrol camp, and we got to go back to the same Cuyamaca Mountains, a little different structure, and it was actually more at ease, pun intended, at that camp. It was more free, it wasn't as structured, and the police officers were our chaperones, and they pretty much would leave it up to us. What do you guys want to do today? And they had a list of things that we could do. Whereas in the 6th grade camp, it was more strict, and it was on a schedule that you went through. But yeah, so I got to go to camp twice when I was in 6th grade. 6th grade camp and safety patrol camp. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, they still, whatever it is they do now, it's kind of the same difference. Oh, one of the other perks of being in safety patrol was the police department would have a demo where they demonstrated. You've probably seen or heard about this, or seen videos of whether they're firefighters or EMS or paramedics and or police officers. I keep hearing it's like somebody's coming out of the room. And they would put on a demo for the public and or an organized group like a school, and they would show some of their skill sets, out in an open area, whether it was, operating the hose and putting out fires or shooting, water, and or a fire department demonstrating on a demolished vehicle how they operate their tools, their airbags and their hydraulic tools for cutting apart cars and saws and all that stuff. Well, the police department had a demo, and we were invited as part of the safety patrol to go to this demo. And I remember they showed the canines and their attack, to perpetrators. And of course, they'd have a police officer all dressed in that padding, those full padded outfits, and those dogs would, run and literally take down these people dressed in that padding. So yeah, I got to see that a few times, either in 5th grade and 6th grade, or 6th grade, because I think I joined when I was in 5th grade, and then I continued into 6th grade. But we got to be a part of that. And who would know, that years later I would end up being a paramedic working side by side with these police officers and seeing, and responding on patients, perpetrators who had just got gobbled up by a canine, and we would be treating their injuries. The sub-Q fat, torn apart on somebody's arm or on their leg. Subcutaneous fat, that's the different layers of the skin, the dermis, epidermis, sub-Q, the 3 layers. And yeah, those dogs would frequently, you'd see globules of subcutaneous fat all over the grass from those dogs ripping up, people. So we would respond. Yeah, who would know I would end up being on that side of after seeing that in 6th grade. And you're only 24 years old. That is so cool. What are the chances that I was going to run into somebody that young talking about memories when I was in 6th grade or before that? I'm sorry. Yeah, it was when I was 11. Then we're talking about when I was 6 years old, 1968. That's probably when it first came out. I was petrified watching that. I think I was watching it by myself. Probably shouldn't have been up or shouldn't have been watching that program if my mom had known, what I was watching. Holy moly. God, I remember Night of the Living Dead. I can picture a scene right now where they boarded themselves up in the basement and those dang zombies were breaking into the basement. Oh my gosh. And then after the fact, when what was it that killed them all off? Was it some kind of a virus or I think it was a virus that caused the zombie. But what ended it? And they ended up walking outside the house in the field and popping off a few of them with shotguns. But we think maybe it was the daylight. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's daytime, kind of like vampires. Was it daytime that? I forget. Yeah, what ended that whole apocalypse in the movie? I forget. Remember them ripping into the stomach and the intestines? And they're just like, they're like fighting over the intestines of that one guy outside the house. Holy moly, out by the trash cans, I think. Gosh. Yeah, Dawn of the Dead, and then good old Dracula and Blackula. Dawn of the Dead was the one where the zombies were fast. Really fast, as opposed to being slow and cumbersome. They're like sprinters in the what was it? The shopping mall. Remember? Yeah, the sunlight. Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was the sunlight. I think that where they would go into hiding or something. How about your parents? Now, your parents are probably in their 40s, early 50s or something. Yeah, I don't know how many siblings you have, but I always wonder, like my kids, ended up picking up stuff that I grew up with, and then they continue to continue that, in their life today, memories of what their dad used to, watch. Yeah, 28 days later. The best zombies, in my opinion. Oh, 28 days later. Is that the name of a... don't think I saw that. Is that the name of another movie? 28 Days Later? I haven't heard that. But Dawn of the Dead, that's when they were fast. They ran like crazy after you. That's like so scary. And that one zombie all of a sudden rises and he starts walking up the embankment to the helicopter that's landing. And he doesn't see how high his head's going to go. And as soon as he steps up, the propeller of the helicopter lops off the top of his head. And all of a sudden blood just pours all down his side of his face and he falls over dead. Love. Hey, turtles. Now, wait, love turtles. Is you're Filipino? Forgive me. Maybe you're not. Gosh, it's been a while since I've seen you. Little House on the Prairie. Oh my gosh. Dude, that's a great series. Used to watch that all the time. Good night, John Boy. Good night, Mary Ellen. Good night, John John. Oh, I love it. I know. And you're a girl, a guy? I don't remember Love Turtles. I'm assuming a woman because of your name, but maybe not. Oh, and the Waltons. Yeah. Yeah, Little House on the Prairie. It's a great story. I mean, just that whole kind of, like you're back in time. What was it like for a family to live in that time? So it was a good depiction of that, as well as a storyline behind it. Yeah. Hamza! What's up, bro? Daniel, you're in. Oh, love turtles. I love turtles for short. Okay. I mean, you're a guy. Okay, I'm up here. I had to kind of scroll. Gotcha. Well, hey, thanks for coming back. Hamza, I forgot, Hamza. I haven't seen you in a while. Where are you? Awesome. I'm glad you came back or you found my notification. Don't forget the thumbs up. I know you guys are good for that. It's oh, you must be in the Midwest somewhere. It's oh, it's actually 4:42. So you're just like in Illinois or somewhere around there. All right, Ethan. Yeah, Central. I figured you're an hour behind me. It's 4:42, 43 here. Yeah, Turtles, you're in Texas. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, you're in Cali. Wow, I don't know if you heard, I'm a San Diego boy. Whereabouts are you? I'm not in San Diego anymore. I'm in New Jersey on the other end. Don't ask what happened. Just life events brought me back here. My wife's family is back here and she wanted to be around her family. Yep. 3 hours different there. Yeah, I've done a little bit of traveling or a lot of bit of traveling in California, except for Northern California. I haven't done a whole lot of venturing up there, but I've been through it all the way up to Oregon, but I haven't had time to kick around Mount Shasta and that area up there. Oh, no way, Ethan. Bro, I lived in Bakersfield. I lived in Tehachapi. Dude, I'm telling you. There was a kid in here last time, 30-year-old-ish guy from Tulare County. And him and I hit it off. I was like, oh my gosh, I used to work in Delano as a paramedic. I lived in Tehachapi, and then later my wife and I moved down into Bakersfield. She was working down at Bakersfield Memorial Hospital, and I would commute 30 miles up into Delano. Oh my gosh, Flintstones, dude, come on. Yabba dabba doo. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. It's a family. Sound off with the Flintstones. Oh my gosh. Daniel, there he is. There's the other New Zealander. God, I haven't seen you in a while. What's his name? Jay Reverie is in Auckland as well. Have you met Jay? JR. We call him JR. It's his initials, JR. I don't know if that's really his initials, but anyways. Oh, you lived in Oildale. I'm sorry. Kidding. That's an old part of California. That whole I-99 corridor, right? Oh, and you moved to Shafter. I worked for Wasco Ambulance also. Dude, I responded to the prison system there in where is it? McFarland, and is that Tulare, where the big Max prison is, the newest one? Well, it was relatively new when I was working there. I'll be dang. Yeah, isn't Shafter? You go through Wasco first, and then Shafter's further down, right? Is that my memory served me correctly? We used to work the racetrack out there in, help me out. Where's that at? We would do standbys at that racetrack. Where was the racetrack again? You know, the motocross track. I mean the road race course out there. Thanks, love, for pointing that out. Yeah, near Lerdo Highway. Yeah, it's going east. You know, like you're heading out towards I-5. You know, that connection. Yeah, we'd sometimes respond out to I-5. I think that was mutual aid, you know, where they didn't have coverage. They didn't have an ambulance for that area at the time. So they would request an ambulance from Wasco, and we would respond out to I-5. Yep. Gosh, small world, huh? What are the chances, right? Here, I was working as a Navy reservist. I joined in 1999, and I signed an 8-year contract when I was 37 years old. So I was a Navy reservist from 37 to 45. Yes, you can join the military at 37 years old. You can join the military up until you're 42 years old. So anyhow, when I was a Navy reservist and a civilian paramedic, I was going through a kind of a dark part of my life, going through a divorce, and I was on my own, literally living out of my Toyota truck with a cab high shell on the back. And when I got the job in Wasco, the owner, Dave, gave me a place to stay basically at his quarters, his paramedic quarters. So I didn't have to sleep out of my truck. And then when I got my first paycheck, I was able to put my first down that first month's rent at an apartment complex up in Tehachapi. So that's when I started living in Tehachapi, was when I was working at Wasco Ambulance. And then later I got a position at Delano Ambulance up in Delano. So from 2000 to 2004 is when I worked there. And then in 2004, I got the phone call to get deployed to Iraq. And so as a Navy corpsman, basically a medic in the United States Navy, I brought my paramedic license into the military. That's how I became a reservist. And then I got deployed with the 123 Marines out of Houston, Texas. So I left my job, I left my residence in California then. Actually, I was living in Bakersfield with my fiance and or my wife now. Was I married yet? That was 2002. Yeah, in 2002 we got married. So I went to Iraq and she left Bakersfield back here to New Jersey. And so when I demobilized, when I got back from Iraq, instead of sending me back to California, where I came from, Bakersfield, I told them my wife is waiting for me up in New Jersey. So that's how I ended up where I'm at now. And then my contract expired about a year and a half later in 2007. And that was the end of my Navy career. So I didn't retire and do 20 years. I just did my 8-year contract, and that was the end of it. Yeah, we were just talking about, we were asking, my wife and I were asking my son, so what's the generation now? And it was Beta. I remember him telling me. Oh my gosh, Fraggle Rock. Do you remember Hobo the Clown? Or do you remember what was that show? With Jimmy and his toy flute and the those life-size puppets. Jimmy was an actual human being, but the puppets were like life-size, taller than life-size, but they were in a of course somebody inside of a character uniform or outfit. What was the name of that show? Jimmy was the human, and he had a little animated like flute in his pocket. Jimmy. He had a high pitched voice. The flute did. Oh, that was the Puffin Stuff. HR Puffin Stuff. HR Puffin Stuff. Where you go when things get rough. HR Puffin Stuff. Da 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 da. I forget the rest of the words. HR Puffin Stuff. I think that was the name of the show, Puffin Stuff. Morro Rock. You're talking about up in Morro Rock? That's up there in Oxnard, where I did my Navy drill. What are you talking about, Morro Rock? What? That's where my drill was, up in Oxnard at Point Magoo. And you passed Morro Rock. Like, wait a minute. What are you talking about? What's Morro Rock? Fraggle Rock. I don't think I was an avid watcher of Fraggle Rock, but I remember it. There was a lot of reruns with what was the name of that? My kids grew up with it. The reruns on. I just said it in my brain and it went away. They grew up in the 80s, 84, 88, when they were born. 80s and 90s. What was the name of the broadcast that showed reruns? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I think they showed Gilligan's Island, and what was the name of that? How about I Dream of Jeannie? Do you remember I Dream of Jeannie? Oh my gosh, you guys are going to bring back some. Yes, that's Right up there in Oxnard, bro. You pass it on the way to Oxnard. No, not TV Land. Nick, no. Come on, help me out. What's the name of the? Oh my gosh! It had a Big Bird and well, that's Sesame Street. But what was the name of that broadcast that showed all the different shows back to back? Kids would come home from school and watch. What is it? I'm going to say it starts with an E. Why am I stuck with the letter E in my head? Now, the Munsters. Oh my gosh, bro. That was an avid show I watched when I came home from school. I love the Munsters and Eddie and Grandpa and what was the hot blonde? Uh, no, that was also the Hillbillies. What about the Hillbillies? But wasn't there also a good-looking blonde in the Munsters? Wasn't that the daughter? Or no, that was maybe she had black hair. Eddie's sister. OBO stalker. What car was burnt to hide evidence of the tunnels and trafficking? Uh, oh, was that? Yeah. Yeah, was she just a normal looking one? Right, right. Was she a blonde or a brunette? I think it was just, she was just a brunette, wasn't she? A little skinny gal. I'm thinking of the hillbillies that had the blonde, the shot, the Barbie doll blonde with the body. Yeah, yeah. Oh, was she blonde? Okay. Oh, and Mr. Hand and who was the big tall zombie looking guy? What was his name again? Um, it's a blunt name, a real short name. Yeah, yeah, the niece. Yeah. What's his name? The big tall, oh, dead looking guy, the corpse looking guy. Uncle Fester. No, Uncle Fester. Was that the big tall? No, that was not Herman. That was Lurch. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. That was Lurch. Yeah, Uncle Fester. Yeah, he was the uncle. Yeah, I know Uncle Fester. You guys, it's so good. Good old Lurch, man. Or well, you're talking about cartoons, He-Man. Do you remember Speed Racer? That came a little later, but my cartoons were the classics, like um, "Watch out for that tree," George of the Jungle, and oh my gosh, Tom Swift, and I'll save you now. Help me, help me. What's his name and his wife would tie up Nell on the train tracks, and Tom Swift would come to the rescue, or he was the Canadian Mountie. What was that cartoon? Yeah, Tom Swift. And what about Bullwinkle and Rocky the Squirrel and oh my gosh, Commander McBragg. Oh my gosh. Captain Caveman. Rocky and Bullwinkle, love it. Yeah, what was the name of those that cartoon again? Hanna-Barbera. Hanna-Barbera and what was the other one? Oh my gosh, that was classic. What a time to grow up, huh? I mean, those cartoons, you just don't see those anymore. Why not? Gosh, I think that would still take off with today's society. Rocky and Bullwinkle, Commander McBragg, all of those. They were classic. Good old Tom and Jerry, the Roadrunner. Man, they just go on and on and on. What about the Mickey Mouse Club, right? Yeah, that was me. I was your parent then, Nick. How old are you? In your 40s yet? Or your 30s and 40s? My daughter's 36 and my eldest is 40. I started young, but yeah. 33 years and cultured. Hey, Nick. What's up, Nick? Is that how old you are? OBO? No, no, it was Nick. Nick. Sorry. Oh, you're 33. Yeah, you're a little younger. Yeah. Well, then I don't recommend it, but I became a daddy at a little bit too young. So my kids are already, my eldest is 40. Yeah, they were born 84 and 88. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, my daughter's 36 and my son is 40. I was born in 62. Maybe they were born a little later than that, probably. In the mid to late 60s. Probably. Later than me. Yep, your son will be 16. Well, I got remarried, Nick, and I have a 19-year-old. He's actually asleep behind me in the room. Ren and Stimpy. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Good old Ren and Stimpy. That came later, but I remember. Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of oh my gosh, it came to me and left me again. Um the network that played all those reruns. Come on, guys. Obi, you're the same age as my kids. What was the network that played the reruns that you grew up with? You always came home from school and you watched the shows on what was the name of it? Oh, Hillbilly Bears, of course. Yeah. Oh, Courage and the Cowardly Dog. Oh my gosh. I've never had this conversation in my chat. This is awesome. Actually, I think I have. We're just talking about the past. Yeah. Looney Tunes. That was the other one. It was Looney Tunes or Hanna-Barbera. Right. But I'm thinking of a question for Nick. What was the programs that you used to watch? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and those other rerun shows through. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of it? Darn it. Oh, Warner Brothers, of course. Yeah. Now, OBO, you're older than Nick. I can tell by what you're. Oh, good old Boomerang. But no, it wasn't Boomerang. Nickelodeon. Thank you, OBO. Gosh, finally. I couldn't think of Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon. Oh my gosh. That's what my kids grew up with. Nickelodeon. And all the programs, they had reruns on Nickelodeon. They had reruns from, I think, like what I remember, programs that I remembered. I even think didn't Nickelodeon play Just Sit Right Back, Your Hair, Tale of a Fateful Trip that started on this tropic isle aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailing man, the skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day on a 3-hour tour. 1981. There you go. Well, you're 3 years older than my son. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, you're a lady. Ah, well, I know how old you are. Oh, wait, that wasn't you. That was Daniel. Sorry. Sorry. But OBO, I love it. I thought it was you telling me 1981. Uh-oh, Mike, what do you got? Keep it clean. Cheers, Taxi, All in the Family. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I just heard about it. He didn't say he wanted to buy Canada. It was mentioned that he was considering, oh, that was Greenland, Iceland, wasn't it? Greenland or Iceland. Okay, I don't know about Canada. I mean, I heard about Canada, but as far as I know, it's just I haven't heard him talking to him. Haven't heard that speech yet on Canada. But it was it Greenland or Iceland? Was it Greenland? He had an interest in that for the um, for the resources. Right, right. Yeah, of course. Nickelodeon. Nick, come on. Yeah, of course, Nick. Oh, I just got that. Badoom. Psh. Oh, yes, Nickelodeon. How could I forget of all people? Yeah, Greenland, Mike. Um, yeah, I'm all ears. I'm all ears when it comes to Trump, period. So, I'm excited to see what changes he's going to make. We'll see. Hey, Ethan, appreciate it. Really, that was cool. Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll be on again tomorrow night. This just happened to be a rogue night. I got bored, so. Oh, Beavis and Butthead, of course. That came later, but who can't forget Beavis and Butthead? I love it. he said, he said, wait, what was it? That first line he used? He said, ass. It was so stupid. It was funny. Oh my gosh. He said, ass. I think I remembered laughing until I was crying. And then it became a trend and everybody was saying it. Oh my God. It's like Homer and Homer Simpson when he came out, everybody started imitating Homer. Yeah, he said, "Hole, cornholio." Now you're gonna get me laughing. He said, "Hole." Uh, so stupid, Beavis. His butthead would say, "It's so stupid." Yeah, hole. Ah, oh my gosh. I haven't laughed in a while. This is good. Oh my gosh. Aren't they doing remakes or they're bringing it back or didn't they bring it back not too long ago? Or are they doing it again? Did they bring it back again? Seems like I heard something about that. Yeah, Greenland. Right, right. They brought it back twice. Yeah. Is there, when was the last one? Oh, Voltran. Oh my gosh. On that note, I was going to mention Speed Racer. Remember Speed Racer? Go, Speed Racer. Go, Speed Racer, go. And that car would go up the mountainside and jump and do a flip. Good old Japanese animation. Oh, what about the era of uh uh Godzilla, uh and all those other Japanese monsters. God, I love that. I love that. I loved watching Godzilla and all those other names of the creatures. Help me out with all those names. Mothra. I saw that the remake where they went to the movies, and I went and saw that. Nothing's like the original, but that was a pretty good movie. Not too bad. Yeah, help me out with all the names of the creatures. Mothra, Godzilla. Um, I used to know them. My gosh. I was into a BTO, Bachman Turner Overdrive, and I actually got to see them as older guys in at the Fox Theater in Portland, Oregon. When I first arrived there, I was still by myself. My family was still moving up, and I was working as a paramedic, not in Portland, but in Washington County, Oregon, close by. And I went downtown Portland, and I saw this sign on this theater, and people were starting to line up outside the building. It was an old historic theater, the Fox, I think it's the Fox Theater in Portland, Oregon. And it said, oh, Foghat. It wasn't Bachman Turner Overdrive. Was it Foghat? Who played BTO? They're the ones that played Godzilla? Yeah. Bachman Turner Overdrive? BTO? Yeah. And I thought, oh my gosh, an opportunity to see BTO. So I'd never seen them before. So I stopped and paid $10 at the door and got to watch them sing Godzilla, and just loved that stuff. That was from my era. Maybe we can talk about that next. Some of the songs. That was another classic rock era to grow up in. I mean, just endless songs and groups of all genres, whether it was jazz or soul or good old disco or rock and roll. It was just endless groups and songs. Funk. Yeah. Well, you know what, guys? I'm getting a little uneasy just because I'm tired. And I think I gotta find out, is my wife working at the office today, or is she working at the house? If she's working at the house, I don't have to take her to work. But I gotta look on her chart and see if I can find out whether she's at home, or because I'm gonna drive her to work at like 6:30 in about an hour and 15 minutes. But I think I'm gonna end it here, guys. Yeah, it turned out to be a kind of a constant flow of traffic. Appreciate you guys. Daniel, Nick, Ethan, Mike. Excuse me, I'm swallowing and burping at the same time. OBO. Oh, Ginger, Marianne. Sorry, I didn't see that. Hey, OBO, are you still there in the background? Oh my gosh, Dick Dastardly and Muttley. That's what I'm talking about. And Penelope Pitstop. Yes. Oh my gosh, dude. That's what I was talking about. Dick Dastardly and Muttley. Wait, I can't do how he did it. That was Muttley. Dick Dastardly and Penelope. Penelope Pitstop. And that was Have No Fear. Tom Swift. Tom Swift. He was the Canadian Mountie that rescued Penelope off the railroad tracks after Dick Dastardly would tie her up, right? And Natasha, that was his wife or his whatever she was. Wasn't that Dick Dastardly and Natasha with Penelope and Tom Swift? Remember that whole road race in their own vehicles? Gosh, what an era. I love that. That was my internet growing up. It was just endless opportunities to watch, um, cartoons. My gosh. Where'd you go? Um, OBO? Did she leave? Daniel. Yeah, that was it. What was the name? That was Commander McBragg. Remember him? Back in the day, when I was a kid, when I was on a African safari, I almost got ate up by a giant zebra. He always had some tail. That was before and Chumley and the penguin. What was his name? Uh, talk like this. What was his name? Chumley and uh, uh, oh my gosh, what was his name? The penguin. Chumley the walrus. I'm seeing is with the tall hat and the red and white stripes on it. What was his name? Tennessee tuxedo. That was his tuxedo he wore. Tennessee tuxedo. Hey, Chumley. 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 And he'd always say, let me open up the closet. No, don't open, or what did he say? And he'd open the closet, everything would tumble out on top of him. Wasn't that Tennessee tuxedo? George of the jungle. Watch out for that tree. Watch out for that tree. Oh! What else? Here, you know what? Now that I'm unhooked here, let me walk over to the schedule and what's today? Is today Wednesday? Wednesday the 15th. She's working from home. Okay, so I don't have to take her to work. That is January, right? Yeah, January 15th, Wednesday. She's at home. And tomorrow, she's back at the office. Okay, so I don't have to drive. So maybe I can hang out for a few more minutes here. Give me 1 second. I gotta go use the head. Yeah, I think you told me before up thread there that you were born 1981. You're 3 years older than my son. He was born in 84. Yep, yep. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna end this and try to get to bed by 6, so at least I can wake up by noon or 1, and yeah, maybe get a snack before I hit the rack. Hey, Daniel, I'm out of here, bro. What's that, Stewie and Sweep? No, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. But yeah, I'm out of here. Nick, if you're there, OBO, Ethan, Mike, all the rest of you, whether you're here or not, Girl in the Mirror, if you're back in the background, and the rest of you, thank you so much for coming in and entertaining and making me laugh and all the above. All right, guys. Later. Popeye. Oh yeah, what about Popeye? He didn't go down that road. Yeah, Popeye was a regular. I'm glad to meet you on Tuesday for a burger today. For a hamburger today. Later, guys.